Hello, my name is Devin Tracy. I have an atheist YouTube channel, and I'm a white male. I'm a white straight male, college educated, from Los Angeles, California. Liberal Democrat, and I want to talk to you about ISIS and its connection to Islam. So, whenever ISIS carries out a barbaric act, such as a decapitation or throat slitting or the burning of a person alive, as they did this week, you will hear moderate Muslims say, and that's if they say anything at all, that this has nothing to do with Islam, that Islam is somehow not to blame. But when ISIS perpetrates this kind of slaughter and murder and rape and setting people on fire and all these barbaric crimes, they themselves tell you that they are doing so because of Sharia law. They will say that it's based on a certain hadith or a certain chapter from the Quran or a certain saying from one of the prophets from the Quran or on some historical event that is depicted in the Quran. And to tell you the truth, everything that ISIS says is correct. Now, this should not come as a surprise to anybody, and nobody should be shocked by what I'm saying. All of the evidence and references that ISIS provide to justify its crimes and its barbarity and its horrifying criminal and despicable violence, all of that evidence that they use to justify their despicable violence, they claim can be found in their holy books. And they are right. They are to be found there. And anyone who says otherwise is lying. When they kill a person, claiming that he's an infidel, when they rape a woman, when they kill prisoners, when they slaughter and decapitate people, they tell you that the Prophet Muhammad said to do that. And indeed, the Prophet did say that. I mean, you could say, what was the context? What's the interpretation? I mean, that's a whole different story. None of these moderate Muslims who claim to be moderate and who have been instructed to sort of reform their faith and their religion, none of them have the courage, not a single grain of courage, to admit that these things do actually come from the Quran and are morally wrong. If the Quran has a story where a certain companion of the Prophet Muhammad did this or did that or did something bad, you should respond by saying that those actions were morally wrong. I would love to see the president of some country like Egypt have the courage to admit that there are instances in the Quran of people being burned alive that are justified by Muhammad. There was one guy burned alive in the Quran, and it's like a well-known, celebrated story in there. And it was a righteous act. Was it morally wrong that he be burned alive? None of these Muslim leaders are going to say so. So we're left in this vicious circle. And you can expect more barbarity because all of this barbarity is sacred. It's sacred. It's in the books. This barbarity is wrapped in their religion. It's immersed in their religion. And it's all based on the religion. Now, speaking to the Muslims of this world, you need to recognize that this barbarity is part of your religion and that your interpretation of the scriptures is wrong. And please do not tell people that Islam has nothing to do with this. Okay, so now that I've said that, imagine the liberal backlash of a guy like me saying that. Imagine Ben Affleck's response to me. I have been labeled an Islamophobe, somebody who's filled with hatred, a racist, a bigot, just any angry term that they could feel that they can just throw on top of me. Because they blame the messenger. They're uncomfortable with the message, so just blame the messenger. There's two ways to solve a problem. You can solve the problem by dealing with the problem and finding a solution to it, or you can attack and try to slander the person that has announced the problem. This is shooting the messenger. Anyway, what I just read to you was not my words. They were the words of a Muslim from Egypt speaking to other Muslims around the world and in Egypt. And here it is.
كل ما بيعمل داعش حاجة من التوحش، تطيير الرؤوس، ذبح الرقاب، بيعملوا ده النهاردة بيحرقوا حد فيطلع لك مشايخ إذا ما كانش طلع فعلا يقول لك إن هذا لا يمت للإسلام وأن الإسلام بريء منه وأنه مش عارف إيه. وداعش نفسها لما بتعمل ده ذبح، قتل، اغتصاب، حرق، كل الجرائم المتوحشة اللي بتعملها دي بتقول شرعا هي مستندة إلى إيه؟ هي مستندة إلى الشرع، ده حديث نبوي كذا، ده صورة كذا، ده ابن تيمية قال كذا، ده واقعة تاريخية كذا. والحقيقة كل اللي بتقوله داعش صح، لكي لا يصطدم أحد بما نقول أو لا يصدم بما نقول. يصطدم أو يصدم بما نقول. كل الأسانيد التي قدمتها داعش لجرائمها وتوحشها وعنفها المفزع المجرم الوضيع، كل الأدلة اللي قدمتها والأسانيد التي استندت إليها زاعمة أنها في كتب التاريخ والفقه والشرع هي أدلة صحيحة وأسانيد موجودة فعلا، وكل من يقول أنها ليست كذلك كاذب. طيب اللي يقتل واحد يقول لك ده كافر، اللي يغتصب بالستات، اللي يأسر، اللي يقتل الأسرى، اللي يذبح ويطير الرؤوس يؤتكم بالذبح، يطلع لك يقول لك الرسول قال، والرسول قال برضه، عشان برضه ما نقعدش ان سياق ايه بقى، تفسير ايه بقى، كلام لمين ايه بقى، ده موضوع تاني. موضوع تاني لا يملك بقى هؤلاء الذين يتحدثون عن انفسهم باعتبارهم وسطيين، واللي بيطالبهم رئيس السيسي ان هم يغيروا الخطاب الديني، لا يملك ذره من شجاعه ان يقول الكلام ده موجود فعلا والكلام ده غلط. ده الصحابي فلان عمل غلط، الصحابي اخطأ. طب انا عايز رجل واحد، عمة واحدة في مصر تجرؤ انها تطلع، وما استندوا انهم حرقوا سيدنا ابو بكر الصديق حرق. ايوه حرق الفجاءة، قصة الفجاءة دي معروفة في التاريخ. الحرق ابو بكر الصديق غلط انه حرق ولا لا، ولا يجرؤ حد يتكلم فيه في اي حاجة. وهكذا نحن في هذه الدائرة انتظروا مزيد من التوحش، لانه كله توحش مقدس، توحش مقدس، توحش معمول بغطاء ديني، مغموس بالدين، مستند على الدين. مهمتك انك تقول له ده في الدين بمفهوم خاطئ، مش تقول له في لا ده الاسلام بريء منه.